Hey mushies, today's video is part 2 of my hair dyeing. I decided to dye my hair extensions in a separate video so I could talk about a few things. These are my mini house extensions. I wanted to show how to dye them because I notice a lot of people think that their hair extensions are shitty because they come out splotchy after dyeing, when in reality it's probably the dye you're using or how you're dyeing your hair. So I thought I would call this hair Ice Fire or like Mermaid Witch or something like that. But anyway, I'm using 1 tube of Ion Azure, a 1/4 tube of Shark Blue, and a scoop of conditioner to smooth it out. I hate this hair dye. It's thick and it fades fast. You can use any blue you like. Ignore the pink you saw in those extensions. I had pink roots, but I ended up covering them. So when you see people dyeing their extensions, you see them dye one side, and then they'll flip it over and they'll dye the other side, and they think that they're done. And here's where people get issues. You're not done. See, when I open up the hair there, you can see some of it is not dyed. That's what happens that's how you get splotchiness, is when you're not opening up the hair and dyeing all of it. You have to make sure it's completely covered. And that's why I don't like this ion dye, because it's extremely thick, so it's really hard to get it all. If you have a more liquid dye like Manic Panic, it's even better. And the other thing, semi-permanent dyes don't expand like normal dyes. Normal dyes will expand and end up covering it all anyway, so you really have to make sure you cover every single spot on your hair extensions to make them not splotchy. Now for the more difficult part, which is dyeing the tips black. I am brushing out one weft at a time onto a piece of foil. I ended up using more so I could give myself more space, but brush it out nice and flat onto a piece of foil, and then separate the hair into a bunch of smaller sections, probably like 1 inch, 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and make sure you give yourself a lot of room, and make sure you have a lot of foil before you start, because if you have a lot of hair, you're going to need a lot of pieces of foil. And I like to use this method whenever I want to have ombre tips, because it makes it more flowy than just looking like someone stuck the ends of your hair into color. It doesn't look dip dyed. I'm using Manic Panic's Raven. I get all of my Manic Panic dyes from bluebanana.com. I'll link them down below. And it's kind of difficult to explain, so just watch. I'm taking just a little bit of the dye at a time because you won't need that much. And you can use whatever colors you want. I thought about doing this with multiple colors just to see what it would look like, but you're gonna kind of dye each section like a V, and I guess they call this sort of balayage style when they're doing balayage highlights. I'm making sure to really saturate the ends of my hair so that they're really covered in the black dye, but then I'm also coming up the sides of each section in a V, like lines on both sides, and then I'm using a clean brush if I need to clean up in the middle there, because I messed up on that first one. But just dye each section kind of like a V, and then when you're done with each section, you're going to cover it with foil and then lay the next weft on top. And if you're doing this on your own head, it's really hard. You're going to need someone's help because you're going to have a bunch of foil hanging from your noggin. And I guess what your helper would be doing is laying your hair, like a section of your hair, over a piece of foil. They would dye it and then they would cover it and then continue on up your head. But it's hard to explain, so just, I guess, watch what I'm doing and hopefully it makes sense. But it's going to give you that more blended look than just having dip dyed hair. There's nothing wrong with dip dyed hair, but I think it's easier to blend out the color when it's done like this. And I have done this before on it's in a really old video I had blonde hair to blue balayage tips. I'll link that video down below. Here's a picture of it. And I feel like I'm talking a lot in this video, but I'm just trying to explain thoroughly. Also, quick tip, make sure you aren't dyeing farther than your natural hair unless you're going to dye your natural hair too, if that makes sense. So yeah, after each section, cover it up, and then lay down your next piece, and I'll probably just leave this playing, but anyway, what I was saying about the natural hair, if you dye the black, if it's on your extensions, if you dye it up too high, then your natural hair is going to cover up some of it, and it's gonna look choppy. So, because I was a dumbass and I decided that I wanted to try to layer my hair again, my hair extensions. So some of it is like too high up and it just doesn't look good. But when it's curled, you can't tell. So I don't even care because I never wear it straight anyway. But just warning you guys, you know, get your hair extensions layered professionally if you're going to do that. Now when you're rinsing, rinse one small section at a time because you know how hair dye, like semi-permanence, kind of runs. You don't want to end up getting color onto parts that you don't want the color. So just be really careful. Rinse with cold water. Always rinse your semi-permanence with cold water. Try to wash your hair with cold water and try not to wash as often. Little tip, sorry, again. Here's what it ended up looking like straight. You can see those shorter pieces that are all choppy. That's what I'm talking about when I tried to layer my hair. Those won't happen to you if you're not a dumbass like I am. It will just look like the ends, nice and kind of low-lighted and blended. I don't know, it looks like fucking fire and I'm fucking obsessed with it. I'm sorry. It's like water, ice fire. I don't know. And then, oh, nope, not there yet. Almost there. There's the ends without my choppy bits. Now I made it all curly and fluffy and voluminized just so you guys could see how fucking fiery this is. I'm sorry, I'm cussing. I'm so excited about this. This has got to be my most favorite hair color ever. And I cannot wait to do it with more colors. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna end up dyeing my hair a million more times. I just got these extensions too. I'm obsessed. Anyway, enough rambling. These are my Mini House 8888 extensions, my most favorite extensions ever. I have a coupon code, LinzMushel, just like my name here. I'll have them linked down below. I've been using their extensions for like 5 years now, probably, since before they stopped selling on eBay. I used to buy them from eBay. Anyway, follow me on all my social media and like the video if you liked it. Please subscribe because that would help me out a lot, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.